All right, let's dive into something that's been bugging baseball fans for years. It's a huge paradox at the heart of the modern game. We've got all this incredible science, all this data. So why are the arms of the best pitchers in the world breaking down more than ever before? It's a mystery that's costing teams millions and derailing careers. And today, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
This is the big question, isn't it? It's completely counterintuitive. I mean, we have high-speed cameras that can analyze every single muscle twitch. We've got data for every single rotation. Logically, you'd think pitchers should be more durable, stronger, and healthier than ever. But the exact opposite is happening. So what's going on? To put it bluntly, this system is broken. All this amazing progress, all this information, it's just not leading to healthier athletes. In fact, we're seeing more Tommy John surgeries, more shoulder problems, more guys on the injured list than ever. And look, this isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. This affects careers, it affects team performance, and it honestly affects the future of the game itself.
So to solve this mystery, what if we've been looking in the wrong place all along? What if the answer isn't buried in a computer, but it's actually inside the athletes themselves? It's this idea that the solution is already written into the very fabric of how each player's body is naturally and uniquely designed to move. This brings us to a really crucial concept called motor preferences. Now, the best way to wrap your head around this is to think about your own handwriting. We all learn to write the same letters, right? But your signature is uniquely yours. It's your brain's most efficient, natural way of doing it. Well, pitching is exactly the same. Every single athlete has their own individual motor blueprint. And here's the thing, these blueprints can be completely different from one person to the next. For instance, some pitchers have what's called a high mobile point. That means their body is literally built to create massive rubber band-like separation between their hips and shoulders to generate power. But other pitchers, they have a low mobile point, where their body is designed to rotate more as one connected unit. And it's so important to get this. Neither one is better. They're just fundamentally different ways of moving. And that right there, that's where we get to the core of the problem. What happens when a coach, armed with all this data, tries to force one of those blueprints onto a body that's built for the other one? Well, that's when things start to go really, really wrong. This quote just hits the nail on the head. See, the problem isn't the data. The data is great. It's how we're using it. Right now, the culture in baseball often uses that data to try and force every pitcher into one so-called perfect mechanical model, instead of using it to understand and enhance their own natural strengths. This creates a direct fight between the coach's plan and the athlete's own body. And let me walk you through exactly how that fight leads to an injury. So, step 1. A coach sees data that says maximizing hip and shoulder separation creates velocity. So that becomes the goal for everyone. Step 2. They take this model and force it on a low mobile point pitcher. Remember, his body wants to move as one piece. The result? The pitcher's body is now fighting itself, trying to do something it's not designed to do, and the oblique muscles, which connect the upper and lower body, suddenly take on a massive, unnatural amount of stress. And step 4, a huge spike in oblique strains, an injury that we're seeing all over the league now. So what we have is a system where coaches, with the best intentions, armed with amazing technology, are actually accidentally causing harm. By chasing this one rigid idea of perfection, they're forcing athletes to go to war with their own bodies. And in that war, the body eventually breaks down. Now, to really drive home just how different each body is, let's use this idea of motor preferences to totally debunk one of the oldest myths in baseball coaching.
You've heard this 1,000 times, I guarantee it. A pitcher's getting tired late in a game, and the announcer says, yep, you can see his arm slot is starting to drop. For decades, that's just been the accepted wisdom. But is that what's really happening? The truth is actually way cooler.
Okay, so to get this, we have to understand how the brain works. Your brain is smart. When you're fresh and feeling good, it operates in what's called the big loop. It's using your most dominant, powerful, and natural movement patterns. But when you get tired or you're under stress, your brain switches to a backup plan, the small loop. It starts activating your less dominant muscle chains to save energy. It's a survival mechanism. And here's where it gets wild. The result of that switch to the small loop is completely different depending on the pitcher. For guys we call walking top pitchers, athletes who generate movement from their upper body, fatigue makes them hinge forward more. Their release point actually gets lower. But for walking bottom pitchers, the guys who generate force from the ground up, fatigue triggers the total opposite reaction. They become more upright, and the release point actually gets higher. This one example just shatters that old myth about the dropping arm slot and proves, without a doubt, why a one-size-fits-all rule just doesn't work for the human body.
Okay, so if the old one-size-fits-all model is broken, then what's the solution? How do we use all this incredible technology to actually make pitchers healthier and better? Well, the answer is all about building a totally new way of thinking. The first step is a huge mental shift. We have to completely abandon the search for one perfect way to pitch. The goal should never, ever be to make every pitcher move exactly the same. Instead, this new way of thinking is all about personalization. It's about using technology to reveal an athlete's unique strengths, not to try and reshape them into something they're not. It's about building customized training that works with their body's natural blueprint. And ultimately, it means we prioritize the health and efficiency of the individual athlete over some rigid universal standard. It's about working with the body, not against it. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, one big question. What are we really chasing in sports? Is the goal some rigid, idealized version of mechanical perfection that tries to force every single athlete into the same box? Or is it a future of athletic personalization, where we use science and data to unlock the incredible, unique potential that's already inside every single player? The answer to that question could truly change the game forever.